Well, I just got rejected by a guy, and this is the second time it's happened this year.
Y'all, it finally happened to me. I got my ass humbled at work last night.
I just asked a guy out at PetSmart, and I was rejected.
I am a firm believer that if you're dating a man, you should not be showing him wife tendencies, wife skills, wifey traits.
Reacting to legitimate reasons why men said they won't date me because of my hair color.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about how the so-called nice guys are finally saying no to being used, no to being backup plans, and no to chasing women who never saw their worth. Now, women are shocked, and it's too late. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really supports us.
Well, I just got rejected by a guy, and this is the second time it's happened this year. You guys know that I'm looking for a man to spoil rotten, okay? And just let me know, be honest, if I overdid it a little too much. I cooked for him every single night, and if he didn't like the meal, I would make him something different. I bought him his favorite Lego sets because he felt bad buying them for himself because they're so expensive. I was a giver in every aspect of our relationship. I created a Spotify playlist of his favorite songs. I scratched his head and back and cuddled him. I was the big spoon. Every single night he came over to my house. I would send him cute messages every single morning telling him how much I appreciated him and how attractive he was to me. All for him to tell me that I was a little too much in suffocating him and really not his physical type, but he was really glad that he gave it a go. My therapist is gonna have a field day with this one. So yeah, I'm back on the market, so who wants to break my heart next?
Look, effort is great, but overwhelming effort can feel like pressure, not love. She didn't just offer care, she smothered him with it. Daily meals, gifts, cuddles, playlists, constant praise, all before real emotional connection was built. A lot of men aren't looking to be mothered or worshipped. They want a partner, not a provider. Sometimes, when women overgive too fast, it comes off as desperation, not devotion. And men are allowed to say, "This doesn't feel right," without being villains. It's not always about what you do. It's about whether it feels natural to him.
Y'all, it finally happened to me. I got my ass humbled at work last night. When I'm at work and I'm not dancing on the stage, I like to walk around the club and go mingle with customers. She just walk around the club and I'll find somebody and I'll be like, "Hey, would you like any company?" And most of the time, they say yeah. Like, who's gonna say no to free company, right? So anyway, I'm doing my rounds and I approach this guy and I'm like, "Hey, would you like any company?" Now I should add that I asked this at the point when there's a break in the song, so there was no music playing, so I accidentally yelled, "Hey, would you like some company?" Like really loud at him when there's no music playing. And because there was no music, that means that everybody else that was in our vicinity could also hear this interaction, so keep that in mind. So anyway, I yelled at this man, "Hey, would you like any company?" This man, dead ass, goes, no. No? I have never been rejected so point blank period to my face in front of everybody ever in my life. Like I didn't even know how to respond because usually they're like, "Yeah, sit down." And so I just sit down and he was just like, no. And so I was like, okay, bye. I just want y'all to know I have not stopped thinking about that all night. Like it's like replaying embarrassing moments in my head over and over again. I think that is my own personal form of hell.
This is what modern dating rarely shows. A man exercising quiet standards. No drama, no insults, just, no. And suddenly it's a personal crisis. For years, men have dealt with blunt rejections, ghosting, and public humiliation like it's part of the game. But the moment a man politely declines a woman's offer, especially one used to being the center of attention, it's replayed in her head like trauma. Men are expected to handle rejection daily. Maybe now, the playing field's starting to even out a little.
I just asked a guy out at PetSmart, and I was rejected. Oh, it hurt so bad. He was so stinking hot. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Because even if he's like not attracted to me or if he's in a relationship or whatever, it will still feel good to be hit on and to like know someone is into you. But, oh, that sucked. As soon as I got in my car, I wanted to start crying because nobody likes to be rejected. And he was so beautiful. But it's okay. Because if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Welcome to what men have experienced their entire lives. That fear of rejection? That sting of putting yourself out there and getting shut down? Yeah, that's been the norm for most guys since high school. The only difference is, when men talk about it, they're told to man up and try again. But when a woman faces it once, it's a whole emotional breakdown. Respect to her for shooting her shot. But maybe now there's a little more empathy for the pressure men carry every time they make the first move.
Get ready with me for bed while I tell you about the worst time I've ever been rejected by a guy. I literally have not told anyone this story because that's how humbling the experience was. Background info, I never ever approach guys first because I have anxiety. So I must have just been feeling crazy this night. So I see this guy out of the corner of my eye and he is super duper tall, like exactly my type. You guys probably wouldn't think he's cute, but I find average guys attractive. If something was telling me like, Avery, this is your husband, you need to go speak to this guy. So I got up next to him trying to be as casual as possible, acting like I'm ordering something, and I'm like, oh, what are you ordering? Anyways, he ends up telling me what he was ordering, and I think it was like, oh, I'm gonna get the same or something. I think he said something like, why would you order that? And I was like, but you're ordering it. At this point, I was about to walk away anyways because he was so weird and like dry. And then he looks at me and I'm like, oh wait, maybe he is normal, can hold a conversation. And you know what he says to me? Are you friends with my girlfriend? Obviously, I knew I wasn't friends with his girlfriend because girl's girl, what? But I'm like, who's your girlfriend? He says a random name. I'm like, no, I'm not friends with her. At this point, I'm walking away because I'm not talking to a guy with a girlfriend. That's just so weird. And he goes, wait, do I know you though? I said, no, but you have a girlfriend. And he said, can I get to know you? He then goes, I lied, I don't have a girlfriend. I said, why would you lie about having a girlfriend? You know what this man says? He says, because you're not my type. We could be friends though. I'm pretty sure I ran away and walked to the bathroom in pure embarrassment and disbelief, because if he had to lie about having a girlfriend, because that's how unattractive I am to him, that's terrifying. And it's also terrifying if he did have a girlfriend and then just wanted to talk to me. Either way, it was so humbling. And I will never be approaching a guy ever again.
This right here is a dose of what men go through every single day. Rejection. Awkward conversations. Getting judged. Being told you're not someone's type. Yeah, men live that on loop. The only difference is, we're expected to take it with a smile. No breakdown, no TikTok story time. The moment a woman steps into a man's shoes, even once, it's a traumatic experience. Maybe now there's a little more understanding why so many guys are hesitant, guarded, or just choose not to approach. Rejection isn't new, it's just new to her.
How do you just slide into someone's DMs? Because I tried it for the first time, it did not go well. 0 out of 10 did not enjoy this experience. And that's okay. So there's this guy. He was in my art class last semester. Very pretty, very nice, very kind, super talented. And I don't like wasting my time or other people, so I was very straightforward. I was like, hi, I was in your art class. You're really cute. And he did not respond for like 9 hours, which is fine because I don't check my DMs either. And then he was like, haha, loved that class. And I was like, oh, message received. Got it. Cool. And I responded again a couple hours later. And I was like, yeah, it was a good class. Assuming that's where it ended. And then he responded a little bit later, like a day later, and he was like, he talked about how much he loved art. And then he asked me what my major was. And I was like, so you're not interested, but you're continuing the conversation, which you absolutely don't have to do. So I'm assuming it's like just like a courteous thing, but still it was confusing to me because I thought everything was very clearly determined what's going on. And then I responded to that, and it's been 3 days, and I think I'm getting ghosted, which is like fine. But still, this sucks. Can't believe people do this.
Welcome to the DM battlefield, where men have lived and lost for years. This woman shot her shot once and suddenly realized, rejection stings. But this is the reality men face daily. You can be polite, clear, respectful, and still get ghosted. And when guys say, hey, mixed signals are confusing, they're told to figure it out. But now, when it happens to her, it's this sucks. Yeah, it does. Maybe now there's a little more appreciation for how much effort and emotional risk men put into even starting a simple conversation.
I am a firm believer that if you're dating a man, you should not be showing him wife tendencies, wife skills, wifey traits until that man fucking earns it. I was talking to a girlfriend of mine and she was like, yeah, like reorganize his cabinets and like, you know, gave him like a dish tray and like gave him something of mine so that his life could be a little more organized and better. Oh my God. I almost gifted a man a plant. Like I almost went out and bought a nice plant because I was like, oh, this would look really nice in your apartment. And you said you kind of thought you would like one. Like I almost went and like brought this man a plant. And then he like deadass disrespected me that night. You gotta earn that shit. I'm glad I didn't do it because like, wow. No, you don't deserve the wife traits until you treat a woman right. And then you get the wife traits. And then I'll cook for you. And then I'll do the things that you would have never realized made your life better. Ever. until you get like a good woman, all right? But the key is to treat her right, and then she will give you those skills, okay? And girls, if you're giving the man the wife fucking traits before he deserves that shit, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop. Literally stop. Till that man fucking earns it. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. Like, women, we think like, oh, we want to show him that we can be like a wife. No. If you love a man, you will show him, you know, all the things that make his life better. You don't just give it to him.
This is the double standard men are tired of. Women say, don't act like a wife unless he earns it. But men are expected to show up day one with provider energy, emotional stability, protection, and cash, before she even calls him her man. So let's be real. If no one's giving effort until something is earned, how do relationships even start? Men don't get to withhold their value and expect love, so why is it celebrated when women do? You either show up with good character, or you're playing games. And men are walking away from the games.
Reacting to legitimate reasons why men said they won't date me because of my hair colour. Number one, and definitely the most offensive of them all, was, honestly, I just don't want to be around you too much because your hair just takes all of the attention because it's so bright and orange. For me, this was a 9 out of 10. This hurt my feelings majorly. Number two, and honestly this one really hurt my feelings at the time, but I've kind of worked on it now. But this was, I just don't know if I can be seen with someone so unique looking. This hurt. It was a 10 out of 10 hurt for me. Look, fair enough, mate. You don't want to be seen with an alien. I get it. And number three was, I just don't know if I'll be able to handle or deal with your mood swings. Look, I never have mood swings, okay? I'm as normal as they come. Like, just because I have red hair does not mean I have mood swings, but thanks for putting that stereotype on me. 4 out of 10, because no originality.
Here's the thing. Not every preference is an attack. Men get roasted daily for their looks, height, income, hairline, and even their texting style. But the moment a guy says your bright orange hair draws too much attention, it's suddenly offensive? Preferences go both ways. If a man said he doesn't want to date someone too unique looking, it's probably because he knows his lane, not because he's trying to hurt feelings. Rejection sucks, sure. But men face it constantly, often silently. Welcome to our world, where we're expected to take it and keep it pushing.